You've got Western herbalism, Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine. These three giants in the world of natural health, it can feel kind of overwhelming, right? Like they're all speaking different languages. But what if I told you they might actually be singing from the exact same song sheet when it comes to what makes us healthy? Okay, let's dive into this. So today, we're going to look at three incredible healing systems. First up, we've got the tradition of Dr. John R. Christopher. This is all about the body's amazing, innate power to heal itself. Then there's Ayurveda, with its ancient wisdom that custom fits treatments to your unique personality, your mind-body type. And third, we have traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, which is a master at diagnosing specific patterns of imbalance. Three totally different paths, but as we're about to see, they might all be heading to the exact same place: true, holistic health. And this is the big question, the idea at the heart of our entire explainer today. What if this isn't a competition? What if the core principles of these traditions, which seem so different on the surface, are actually in complete agreement? What if they all have the same answer to the ultimate question, what is the real root cause of sickness? Well, let's find out. Okay, first things first. Let's look at where these traditions totally overlap. Because honestly, when you strip away the unique language and the cultural details, you find this incredible share of worldview. And it's a worldview that's a world away from how a lot of conventional medicine looks at things. Now this right here, this is the absolute bedrock for all three traditions. First point, the body heals itself. It's a self-healing machine. The job of the healer isn't to force a cure, but just to get the junk out of the way and give the body the good stuff it needs to do its own magic. And that leads directly to the second point. You have to address the root cause. No more chasing symptoms, no more slapping on temporary fixes that never ever solve the real problem underneath. And this quote from Dr. Christopher, wow, it just nails that root cause. He put it so bluntly, the one disease is blockage. Now, Ayurveda calls the same thing ama. It's this toxic, sticky gunk from bad digestion. And TCM, they call it stagnation of your vital energy, or qi, and blood. You see? They're using different words, but they're all pointing to the exact same two problems. Illness happens when things get stuck, and when the body is lacking what it needs: blockage and deficiency. That's the whole game. And building on that, all three of these systems would be absolutely horrified by the idea of suppressing something like a fever. As you can see in that first point, they see things like a fever or inflammation as intelligent, they're smart healing responses. It's the body actively trying to fight, to cleanse, and to fix itself. So how do you help it? Well, it's not with some fancy pill. It's with the most powerful tool you have, which is that second point, food. For all three, it doesn't matter what herbs you take. If your diet is trash, you're not going to get well. And finally, here are three more huge areas where they all agree. First, the link between our emotions and our physical body is unbreakable. You simply cannot separate them. TCM literally maps specific emotions to specific organs. Second, all three put the liver on a pedestal. They see it as the master command center for processing everything we take in, both physically and emotionally. And because of that, point number 3 is absolutely key. Systematically cleansing the body's elimination channels. We're talking bowels, kidneys, skin, lungs. That is the non-negotiable first step to any real lasting healing. So we've established that they agree on the fundamentals. They've got the same foundation. But where they become so powerful, especially for us today, is in their differences. They each have a unique perspective, a special lens that they use to look at a person and their illness. Let's explore how these different lenses can give us a much richer, more complete picture of health. This table right here shows what is probably the single biggest philosophical difference between them. Dr. Christopher's approach is universal. He believed one core protocol of cleansing and nourishing works for pretty much everyone. Ayurveda, on the other hand, is all about you as an individual. It asks, what's this person's unique constitution, their dosha, and then it tailors everything to fit you. And then you have TCM, which is all about pattern differentiation. It doesn't treat insomnia. It treats, say, liver qi stagnation causing insomnia in this specific person. See the difference? And here's another really key distinction. It's all about what we call energetics. Dr. Christopher's approach is mostly functional. This herb does this thing. It's about its action. But Ayurveda and TCM, whoa, they go way deeper. They classify every single food, every herb, by its intrinsic quality. Is it heating or is it cooling? Does it dry you out or does it add moisture? This energetic understanding lets them do this incredibly precise balancing act, perfectly matching the energy of the medicine to the energy of the imbalance. It's brilliant. And get this, they even see the map of the inside of your body differently. Dr. Christopher uses the same organ map we're all familiar with from Western biology. Ayurveda uses a system of 7 core tissues called dhatus and the channels that feed them. But TCM is just fascinating. For them, an organ isn't just the physical thing. The TCM kidney system, for example, doesn't just manage your fluids. It also governs your bones, your hair, your hearing, and even your willpower. It's a whole functional, energetic system, not just a piece of anatomy. Okay, so we've got these shared truths and these unique lenses. Now we get to the really exciting part. How do we actually combine them? How do we build a powerful, practical toolkit that we can use to deal with modern health problems? Let's walk through a couple of real-world examples. All right, let's take a super common issue, something I'm sure a lot of us can relate to. Someone struggling with insomnia and anxiety. You know the feeling. You get into bed, you're exhausted, but your mind is just racing and you cannot switch it off. How would our integrated toolkit handle this? Let's break it down. So the key here is that we layer the approaches. We don't just pick one. We start with the Christopher Foundation, a classic herbal formula like relax-eze that specifically calms and soothes the nervous system. Simple, direct. Then we add the Ayurvedic layer. We bring in something like ashwagandha, which is this amazing herb for helping the body handle stress and rebuild those deep energy reserves that get drained by chronic anxiety. And finally, for the masterstroke, we bring in the TCM refinement, reishi mushroom. Reishi is famous for its ability to calm the shen, or the spirit, to quiet that agitated, racing mind. You see, each layer adds a critical piece to the puzzle. Okay, here's another perfect example that shows how this toolkit can attack a problem from 3 totally different but totally complementary angles. Let's say someone's dealing with hair loss or their hair is starting to go gray way too early. First, we lay down the Christopher Foundation, which addresses the physical mechanics. We use something like cayenne pepper to physically boost blood circulation right to the scalp. Simple, direct, effective. Then we bring in the Ayurvedic layer with amla, a berry packed with vitamin C that's famous in Ayurveda for preventing premature graying. But the TCM refinement, this is the real game changer. TCM theory says that hair health is governed by something called kidney jing, which is like our deep constitutional life force that we lose as we age. So TCM adds an herb like He Shao Wu, which is specifically designed to nourish that jing, getting to the absolute deepest root cause of aging. So how do you actually put all this together for yourself? Look, it's not about becoming a master herbalist in all 3 systems overnight. Not at all. It's just about having a simple, practical way to think things through. So let's wrap this all up with a clear framework you can use in your own life. Here it is, the key takeaway, the whole thing in a nutshell. First, always start with Dr. Christopher's system as your basic roadmap. Cleanse the body's pathways and nourish it with good food and herbs. That's step 1, always. Then layer on Ayurvedic thinking to understand the person. Are they naturally hot or cold, dry or moist? This helps you personalize everything. And finally, bring in the TCM lens when a problem is really stubborn or complicated to help you diagnose the very specific pattern of imbalance that's going on. So, you see, instead of seeing these as competing systems, we can see them as 3 powerful lenses in a single toolkit. Each one gives us a unique and valuable view, and when we put them together, we get a much more complete and effective picture of health. So the only real question left is the one you see on the screen. Which healing lens does your health need today?